It's recording. Anyway, so that's my main responsibility is integrating the fandom into the business, and then the tool that the LAN team uses is obviously the LAN, and this is where we kind of manage this vetted and approved, recognized community. And so I've been here for 7 years now. So hopefully a lot of you have met me, but if you haven't, you can always reach out. We can have a meeting. You can talk to me about anything that you would like to talk about. My next public appearance will be at Scareback, where we will be doing the ambassador meeting, and that will be the next time that we end up talking about the RLUG and RLOC reimagining journey that we are currently on. And then following that journey, or following that ambassador meeting, probably by October, maybe the first week of October, I'll go ahead and share something on the LAN from that meeting, as well as when our next virtual calls could be, in order to kind of bring people on the journey with us. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share a little presentation and kind of talk my way through that. I should be able to find it. Well, that is how I'm going to present it, because that's how I'm going to present it. Cool. Is that good enough? BT, can you give me at least a shout out? Or
yeah, I mean, we can see it. Yeah. I guess if we, there you go, you're good.
A little better.
Yeah.
You actually want me to present it?
Can you?
What if I do this? Does that work?
There you go.
There
Perfect.
you go. Yep.
Perfect. All right. So
That's
I
right,
definitely cannot see you. So please, if you have a question, unmute and ask your question. There's no need to raise your hand, because I won't be able to see that. No need to put in chat, because I won't be able to see that. So please, also, if there is somebody that can let people into the meeting, I would appreciate if somebody could just let people into the meeting if there's anybody in the waiting room. Cool. So today we're going to go over a brief history of our recognition program and support programs. We are going to be reviewing the RLUG, so why are we reviewing the RLUG and RLOC program right now? We're going to go over the team behind the reimagining. We're going to go over the vision for the reimagined program and sort of the vision for support programs and timeline. And then what I really want you to know is that we are on a journey here. So none of this is finalized. We are still actively taking in feedback from internal stakeholders, as well as from the recognized community. So this is your chance to have a voice. This reimagining is not happening because of any budget issues. Our budget for digital and physical communities will be more next year, not less. Our goal is not to remove anyone from the program. We foresee a program where everybody fits. So to say that again, our budget is bigger next year than it is previous years. We are not doing this to get rid of people, get rid of communities. That is not our goal. Our goal is to open the program for even more communities. Please ask questions and please take the survey. What survey? At the end of this, I will be not at the end of this. At the end of today, after the second session, I will be sending out a survey. I would ask that you take it. We want one survey submitted by every recognized online community or LEGO user group. So VLC, I recognize that your entire membership team is here, but please just go ahead and gather up and just submit it once. And if you are here by yourself as a community ambassador, then talk to your leadership team, present to them what we have talked about today, get their feedback, put that in one survey and submit it back to us. So please make sure that your voice is there, but also your community's leadership voice is there as well. I believe that makes sense. Cool. So let's kick this off. Sorry for the terrible PowerPoint presentation, but that's what you get. So the history, this is a history museum. Some of you have been here for a while, and some of you might have only been here for a few months or a few years. But the recognition program has a really interesting start. And if you understand the start, you might understand why we're reimagining the program. Back in the early 2000s, there was this issue, perceived issue, when somebody hacked into the RCX brick and published online the code, so that way you could program your RCX brick to do whatever you want. You didn't need the Lego Group's technology in order to code it any longer. And so this is early internet stuff. And so we actually flew out to the Boston area to talk to these people that had hacked into our brick. And we found out that they were just adults that were doing this thing that they thought was amazing. They thought it was that this RCX bricks had so much capabilities, and that they were doing something that was going to enrich the experience for more people. That was the opposite of what we at the Lego Group thought was happening. We thought somebody was hacking into our stuff and was I don't know, was gonna was gonna detract from the experience. So after they went out there, they actually returned to Denmark, and they decided that we needed to actually to showcase the fact that there are adults in this world that are doing amazing things with the Lego brick. And so this guy named Tomo set about proving to the rest of the company that the adult Lego fandom was real, and that they deserve to be a part of the business, not an afterthought of the business, but a true part of the business. And so that is what he would spend the next 22 years doing after that situation in the Boston area, at MIT, actually. So for the next 20 years, about 15 years, there are a few community managers that are going to travel the world, meet with AFOLs, and encourage them to get people together. Oh, you like Lego bricks? Oh, you like building? Here's some products. Here's some sets. Why don't you get some friends together and do some building? And if you get more friends together, I'll give you even more Lego sets. I'll give you even more support. But back then, it was all about proving and building this fandom. So that way, internally, instead of just talking about children all the time, we would actually be saying, yes, children are important. Yes, families are important. But yes, adults are also important. Now, for these initial years, support was different. There was no equal in support. Not every community or entity or individual was treated the same or treated fairly. There was heavy bias in it based on sometimes friendship or location, or awareness. But the great news is after 18-ish years, the adult portion of the business was finally seen, was finally recognized. And in 2018, we came out with the Adults Welcome line. And that was really a sign to the world that we were going to start celebrating the adults that have been participating in the business. Yes, we had been celebrating the AFOLs, We had been seeing them, participating with them, but it was almost in secret. And the 18 plus category was us telling the world, we see you. We are going to make something for you. We are going to be with you from now on. So Tormal had achieved his mission. He had made working with adults, he made the category of adult consumers business as usual for the Lego Group. And with that came the need to start actually changing our program. And I could say that in short, it's changing from this friendship program. That might be the wrong word, but something like, hey, you're my friend, here's some stuff. Thank you for being in our program. And it's changing into something where it's more marketing alignment. That again, the wording's a little bit wrong there, but it's more about, we like what you're doing. We've told you we like what you're doing for a number of years, but we need to start shifting our program so that it fits 2025, not 2005, when we didn't even know that when we were in the prove the adult business exists. So that is sort of the history. That's the next slide. Review. So why now? So back in 2022, I told you that there was that time where we finally started celebrating and recognizing the adult business with the 18 plus launch. In 2022, our team went through a reorg and an expansion. There are more people involved in the land today than there have ever been. And it's taken a few years to get to that point, which is again why we didn't do this in 22, but we're doing this in 25, 26, and 27. But the land team had a reorg. We have had a lot of fresh faces and new blood brought into the team. And we also have expanded regarding roles and responsibilities. Adult marketing is now an entire department here. It didn't used to be, right? We used to be kid marketing, but now we have an entire team that's focused on adult marketing. They're part of our team. We have grown-up engagement. There are more than just AFOLs that fall under the umbrella of adult. There are also families. There are also adults, maybe, I don't know, I'll say low affinity adults, people that don't bleed Lego bricks, people that don't necessarily have a relationship or with us as a brand. Maybe they are passion point driven. Maybe a new Disney set comes out that is that Wally thing, and they're like, oh my goodness, I love Wally. I didn't know the Lego Group made Wally stuff. I'm gonna buy this Wally and Eve product. All that is a portion under grown-ups, these adults that might buy one Lego set in their life. And then there's the high affinity adults, the AFOs. So in 22, the reorg starts. I would say that, or not, the reorg happened in 22. The expansion is still happening to this day. And in fact, on August 15th, we just hired somebody. I believe we're hiring somebody else right now. Our team is growing, which is beautiful news. In 22, 23, and 24, we focused on standardizing the fan media program. And it has become beautiful. It has taken a couple years worth of work, but fan media need to submit less reports. We're getting to the point where hopefully they don't need to submit any reports any longer. We are aligning them with marketing campaigns. We are using them instead of hiring actors. We're hiring members of Lego user groups and fan media. We are flying them to be hosts at events. Um, we are truly using them as sort of brand ambassadors, as influencers. Um, and so the recognized fan media program has really blossomed. At Scarebeck last year, that's why Scarebeck is here in the middle. Jose, who is a director in our team, shared out to everybody. Said, "Hey, we've worked on fan media for a few years, and the great news is that's getting to a place where we can continue to build the fan media part of the program with relative ease. And now we're going to take our resources and we're going to spend them on reviewing the recognized Lego user group program and the recognized Lego online community program." So it would not be possible for us to have reimagined all three of these programs at once, simply because we need to keep the ship floating and we need to build a new program at the same time. And that takes considerable effort. And so by breaking it up program by program, it made it manageable. Oh, and then you get a bear there because I'm really bad at graphics. But what that's supposed to share is that like we're working towards a really pretty rainbow. We see that this is leading towards a program that that we hope is going to last the next 15 years. Cool. Let's see what's next. So the team behind the reimagining circled some people here. Really, almost everybody here is involved in the reimagining. Jose is one of our directors. He is the person that is sort of giving us the final green light to move forward. His people leader is named Shane, and Shane's not on this little picture, but Shane is also important in regards to approving the program, because his vision is, so while Jose's vision is that 2 to 3 years out, Shane's vision is more of like that 5 to 10 years out. So it's important that both of them are very aligned with whatever we are doing. We also have Pella in the program. He is on our adult marketing team. So he is integral in this program. And then we have me. And we then also have Allison, who is not in this picture. Allison is also on Jose's team. Jose's team is grown-up engagement. Pella is adult marketing, and I am the LAN team, the community management and moderation team. So Allison is on Jose's team, and he is amazing in helping us progress our program. He was hired maybe about 5 months ago, simply to help build up the team that is strictly focused on the reimagining. And then we have a guy named Michael, and he's not IT guy, but I'm going to call him our IT guy. He helps ensure that as we talk about whatever the new version of the LAN is, he's the one that manages the relationship with the people behind the LAN, the IT team behind the LAN. So he's integral in making sure that is that technology moves with our dreams. And then lastly, we have representatives from RLUGs, RLOCs, and ANEs. And some of you on this call have been integral in the reimagining program up to this point. And whether that is participating in focus groups, in surveys, in ad hoc conversations, in all these different ways that you have helped build it to this point. But we do have a team, I believe, of 30 or 35 community ambassadors and leaders that have been participating with us regularly in order to help ideate this. And we owe them a tremendous amount of gratitude because when we have come to them with an idea, they have either green lit it to a degree, maybe yellow lit it to a degree, or they have said, Jordan Pella, you're wrong. Stop what you're doing here. Stop this angle here. This is going to create more issues for you. And that has been so appreciative to have them in our corner. So I know some of you are on this call right now, and we really appreciate you. Oh, if you thought I was bad at PowerPoint presentations, welcome to this slide. So what could the reimagined program look like? I will walk through this train wreck of a slide. So starting in the top, we do believe that the new program will have a community map, a community finder, and a community page. Here I tossed in an image of the AFOL of Middle East as just an image of the community page. But while we have received feedback in the annual survey or in different focus groups that you don't feel like the community page drives traffic, drives membership, drives awareness for your community. I'm not going to pretend that this is the holy grail, how you get every person to visit your events or every member to join your club. But we are very aware that we will be needing every community to create a better community page. A community page will be helping provide a template for what that should look like. We will be creating a new map, hopefully. But we do know that this is actually important for us. Our stakeholders use this to determine who to work with. So something along the lines of this map and community pages will exist. Moving down, we know that the forum will still exist. Will it be exactly how it is today? Probably not. But in all reality, we need some level of forum. We need the ability for you to knowledge share and discuss amongst yourselves and also directly with us. I would say I don't know what the percentage is, but I would say that there are some community ambassadors that use this forum truly as a tool to enrich their community, to find ideas. But I would also say that there are a majority that don't. The ambassador program the recognized program has changed over the years. And if we think about it, back in 2016, I believe was the last change, but before 2016, we didn't actually recognize communities. We recognized individuals. We said, hey, you are special. You are a brand ambassador. We're going to chat with you. That's not how it is today. Now it is, you are a representative of a community. We like what your community is doing. You are welcome to be the voice of that community. But in reality, the role of what used to be brand ambassador and is now community ambassador are two very different roles. The brand ambassador was that they'd share some feedback with us, and then they would, they'd share insights from the community, what they thought were insights, which were for their world. But it was also all about them. Community ambassador, on the other hand, no one individual is more important than any other. Community ambassador for me should be somebody with a comms degree from your community, a marketing degree from your community. That's who it should be. It is somebody that needs to know that the LAN is a tool to enrich your community. somebody that knows how to broadcast and celebrate wins, someone that knows how to be open and speak about their challenges. That person that has the ability to say, our club is currently experiencing this issue. Have other clubs experienced this issue? How did you get past it? How did your community deal with it? How did your community survive this challenge? At the same time, it's the ability to go, holy cow, everybody, something happened. We did this at our event and it was perfect. And here's how it happened. And here's why we think you should do this at your events. That is the role of the community ambassador. It is not about the individual. It is now 100% about representing their club, making sure their club's voice is heard, making sure that they can gather learnings, the ability to be represented in every single club meeting and go, here's what's happening on the land. Here's 10 things that are happening right now that might be valuable to us. This lug just did this kind of charity activity. Here's how they did it. Here's what they did. Maybe we want to do it. Here's a club that just got sued because they didn't have the right tax authority thing and they did a competition online and someone reported them. We also do competitions online. Maybe we need to review that we're doing things legally, tax appropriately. Oh, hey, I don't know, Build a Heart campaign has come. What's Build a Heart? Build a Change? Build a Heart? Anyways, whatever campaign is coming up. Or, hey, there's this new F1. It seems like F1 is going to be the passion point for 25. Do we want to do F1 stuff? Do we want to do car stuff at our events? So that way we're aligned with the global marketing campaign that the Lego Group's doing. That is what a community ambassador is. It is a person that literally can get past themselves and can represent their club. It is a comms person or a marketing person. So forums should exist. All right, next up, that nice, beautiful encyclopedia thing. The land, our goal on the land with the new, what it would look like is including a wiki of sorts. We imagine that there will be two types of wikis that are available. One will be for non-recognized communities. We get a lot of questions. How do you create a log? How do you run an event? How do you apply? How do you, should you have a community board? Should you, I don't know, whatever it is, but we imagine that there should be some level up tools provided to non-recognized communities. We also believe that there needs to be a database of tools for recognized communities, that a new community in our program can be enriched through the learnings, those standardized learnings that every recognized community has gone through. Those how to run a mosaic event, how to get insurance for an event, how to do a global social media campaign, how to, I don't know, whatever. But we believe there needs to be this curated toolbox of wiki articles that are co-created between us and you to enrich your community and others. Oh, look at that little construction worker. She down there is to let you know that the new program, that she's manual labor, the new program will require more manual applications on your side. That I'll get to in the future. But support, the way we envision support programs in the future is very application based, which will require that somebody on your team knows how to write a brief, knows how to request support, knows how to create a business plan, so to speak, as to why support should be provided. So we do recognize that this is a more manual part of the new program. Now we're moving up to the robot. So we hope, our ambition is that reporting will be automated. That's what the robot's supposed to I don't know. That's what he's showing up there. That our goal is to have more automated reporting. We're already doing it for fan media, and we will be we'll be piloting it for Lego user groups. I'll be announcing that to the 30 or 35 communities that are part of the Reimagining. I might bring in additional for that pilot if we need more, but we'll be piloting it either this month or next month. But again, it doesn't fix all reporting. We need to find a way to stop the reporting. Right now, you spend time and energy providing us with reports. We need a way to actually make those reports valuable. We need a way that your time is not wasted. We need to make sure that we are getting the data that helps ensure the future of our program. And the future of our program is data. It's the ability to say, look, here's our numbers. Please fund us in 26. Great news, our numbers are even higher this year. And they're fact-based. They're not manually entered. Manually entered data has inherent flaws. Where automated data that we are able to somehow gather, data that is through ticket sales perhaps, or I don't know, but that is all automated, or at least partially automated. And those boxes are, because I couldn't find a bunch of boxes of Lego boxes, but the target symbol is to show that our goal with the Reimagined program is targeted support, meaningful support, no longer random shipments of juniors 4+ Duplo stuff, but purposeful and targeted support. Cool. All right. We are a bigger company than we used to be. That is true. I don't know how many thousands of employees we have now, but it's really important that with whatever program we are building, that it fits within the rest of the ecosystem. And the way that we do that, by doing that, what it does is it encourages the health of our program. It secures the health of our program. If we are using words and terminology that the rest of the company knows and understands, it ensures the health of our program. So when we are imagining and this new program and what it can look like and getting funding to support programs, the way that we do that is by connecting it to the Lego brand framework. It is infinitely easier for us to go to the marketing teams and say, we would like a 10% increase in budget. And with that 10% increase in budget, we are going to be able to support more community events and activities. And the reason that we should be doing this is because community events and activities inspire and develop the builders of tomorrow. And when we can tell that to marketing goes like, yeah, you're going to get bricks in the hands of more kids. You're going to get playful experiences in the hands of more adults that have never touched a Lego brick. Yes, we will fund that. And that right there, that mission of the Lego Group of inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow is the foundation of our new Reimagined program. And the communities that are helping us with our mission of inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow will be the communities that are successful in applying for support. I've talked for a long time. No one's had any questions, so we're doing pretty good, I guess. Keep moving on to the future support programs. I probably should have. I'm gonna go to the next slide. I'm gonna give it about maybe 1 to 2 minutes of silence for people to read the slide, because that's what you'll be doing if I just go there and start talking. So I'm going to give you a few minutes to read it, and then I will talk about it. PT, there's not that many words.
Should have had some thinking music, Jordan.
Oh, I can sing to you.
No, pass, thanks.
Yeah, It's Raining Men is what's in my head right now. I love that song. So all right. I'm now going to present this slide. We are currently ideating 5 future support programs. It's important to understand those words. We are ideating 5 future support programs. It does not mean they're final. And during this little presentation, I will tell you what is final, if there is anything. These could change. We've been working on them long enough that we don't believe they will, but they could, especially when you see that some of these things, the goal is to make changes by 27. So starting with the green one on the left, we recognize the importance of individual brick support. This is currently known as RLUG bulk. We want a support program that encourages individual creativity. In 2026, RLUG bulk will be exactly as it was in 2025. There could be a few itty bitty minor changes. We do need to reduce fraud. We do need to reduce, I think there are people in this meeting that have firsthand knowledge of RLUG bulk abuse. I think we can all agree to that. Little asterisks in the way that your community might process it. It's okay. We're just going to do this. We don't need to tell the Lego group. We'll just do this. We all know that has existed. So that is just something to be aware of. We might make some slight changes just if we need to try and secure that program and reduce risk within it. But in 26, we imagine that it'll be announced in a few days, or maybe it's already been announced, it will continue business as usual. Sorry, usual spelt wrong. I'll fix that. And then we will investigate opportunities for potential future other individual brick support programs for 27. So next year, we will spend resources on investigating RLUG bulk. How can we do it? Are there other ways that we can do it? I don't like the fact that a community of 400 people is limited to 85 elements. How is that creativity? What, you do a show and every member of your club has the same 85 elements to use to make their mock? Gee, everything's red this year for our club. That's weird. No, everybody had the same 85 elements. That seems foolish. Maybe there's a way that we can do that differently. Community projects, currently known as project support. We are likely to make small refinements for 26, but no plans, no large changes are planned.
Hey, Jordan, there
Community-
was a question in the chat about the monetary limits for 2026.
Oh, the same. Sorry. No, not spending any, considering lug bulk will be, I'm guessing the question is raise it?
It was just asking if it was going to remain the same.
Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
that's me. I wasn't sure if we were allowed to ask questions.
Oh, of course you can ask questions, Wade. It's good to hear your voice, man. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
So yeah, lug bulk limits haven't changed for a while. And when it did change, we got a €5 increase. Obviously, the price of bricks in lug bulk has gone up beyond CPI, but our limit to purchase bricks hasn't, and that's obviously limiting the amount of bricks that we get now versus the cost of the bricks. So I was wondering whether either the cost of the bricks overall would go down or our limit would go up to allow.
I can answer that. Neither of those will happen in 26.
Excellent.
It will be
Yeah.
copy and pasted from 25.
Yeah,
We cannot spend resources or time on altering the program when we know that we want to give it a thorough review.
Fantastic.
So
Thank you.
Sorry,
you don't
Jordan,
mean
just so
fantastic. You mean okay, but I'll take that.
No, it's good to know that it's currently getting reviewed, but no changes are expected next year. So
Correct.
that's
And-
great.
and-
that it's
And by
gonna be
no
reviewed.
changes, we mean no changes. It will happen next year. So don't let your community know. Don't be scared about 2026 lug bulk. And I also want
Yes.
to let your communities know, don't be scared about individual brick support in 27. We know that this is important. It might be lug bulk. It might be exactly as it was in 26. It might be. We don't know.
Yep.
But we're not going to be foolish enough to say we're not going to even look at other possibilities. We want to look at other possibilities. We want to make goodness, imagine if it didn't have to be a 1-year program to receive your bricks. Goodness. What if I could do it in 3 months? What if, I don't know.
Speaking of that, one of the big
Who's talking?
programs this is Joel from RLUG.
Hey, Joel.
And I'm curious why we haven't gotten any statements about the shutdown of Pick-a-Brick online. Like, speaking of individual support programs.
You're fine. We're going to go ahead and skip past that one. We're going to stay focused on the recognized program right now.
Okay. I thought it was tangential because we're talking about individual support, and it is one source that people can use to get bricks.
Perfect. All right.
Alongside lug bulk.
I appreciate the question, but we are going to go ahead and move past that one. Next up, we have.
Jordan,
yeah.
Sorry, Jordan. Sorry, if I can just ask one of your answers to Wade there.
Who's talking now?
It came across. Sorry, Michael from Australia.
Hey.
From Brick. Just a brief one. Your answer to Wade. Just to confirm, the way you answered it made it sound like there'd be no price increase on lug bulk for next year. I'm guessing that was possibly a mistake. That was a mistake, wasn't it?
I appreciate you calling that out. Price increases could happen. I'm not saying the things that won't happen are program changes.
Yep.
But if the cost of bricks changes, that could happen. What won't happen is additional spend or additional limits or anything like that. There could be. Thank you, Michael, for clarifying that one. Really, I would have been held to the stone on that one in a few months. So thank you. Community projects. I'm going to move on to that one. This is the heart and soul of the program. It really is. The recognition program was not the recognition program after 2015 was not about the individual. but about the community and community projects of bringing a group of people together to achieve something that is not possible alone is beautiful. So as of right now, there will be small refinements for 26, likely, but there's no changes planned. Our efforts right now are not going to be spent on lug bulk program, individual brick sport, or community projects. You'll see what we're going to be spending our time on for the remainder of 2025 right now. But those two are relatively the same. All right. Marketing aligned support. This is a completely new offering. This is something that we have pilot.
Sorry, can I ask another question about community support? Sorry.
Yes.
I know that all communities aren't the same size, but the limits for community support prevent smaller lugs from participating because of the part count or piece count or price that is required to purchase those parts. Okay. And I'm wondering whether that would be looked at for community projects, because I know mugs this year weren't able to participate in a project support because we had to order 75,000 parts as a minimum for project support, where our project was only like 20,000 parts.
Yeah.
And
no, I understand. I understand the request. The answer is no. The reason is we have been, community projects need to create a wow moment. And that is something that we have been refining since 2023. If you look back before 23 was when I got involved in community projects. But prior to that, almost every application was approved, period. There was no review of the project. In 23, Pellet and I got involved in approving every project support from a community and marketing lens. And a community project is designed to create a localized wow moment. We are having some internal challenges. This is where community is still represented, where marketing is like, we don't see the value in Mills plates. And I'm like, yep, I recognize that there might not be a wow moment, but maybe that still fits under community projects because it's required in order to level up their builds. But in all reality, that might be something that goes away because the goal of a community project is not tree, I don't know, not mills. It's not roads.
But so for
wow
instance,
moments.
Our project was to be a community castle, which was individual modules for building a 2 meter by 2 meter castle, but it didn't require the 75,000 parts required for projects or communities projects. So we weren't able to apply for it due to the cost of it.
Yeah. Well, then the other, so I'm not going to completely nullify it, but the other thing is also cost. So there is some level of internal costs that and effort that need to go into it. Let's not completely nullify that the limit could be reduced. I want you to continue to voice that need. But yeah, let's look into that. I can agree to that. Let's look into that.
Thank you.
What would perfect world scenario? What would the minimum be?
I think it really needs to depend on the project. Like you said that you're wanting to create wow projects.
I can't do a project because then I'm going to get people submitting 5,000 part orders. What I need a minimum. If the minimum is currently 75,000, what are you asking for?
30 to 40,000. But
okay, wait, no, that's good. Anybody want to challenge that 30 to 40,000?
I'm going to challenge it a little bit in the sense that and Jordan, correct me if I'm wrong here, but if any group in the past had an idea that didn't fit exactly into these little boxes, they could always still take those ideas to yourself and ask for some sort of assistance in finding out where the best way to do it would be. Is that correct?
I mean, in all reality, I'm not going to say yes to that. I wish that was the case. I'd say with the new version of these programs, the answer is yes. But with the current program, I would say it's quite limited. Getting asterisks approved or has been challenging.
No. So I didn't mean to go around it. I meant to potentially push them, direct them towards where that would be their best avenue of assistance. So whether it be a case of speaking to their members to use their individually to use their lug bulk allocation to get the parts for a smaller project, that sort of thing. So there's always assistance out there.
There is, and it's like when we do activity support, right? We've had clubs that say, well, we want to be a A&E. Well, then use your activity support and treat it like you're an A&E. Act like you're an A&E. So there are different ways of doing it, but all right, let's move on to marketing aligned support. We have piloted this year. Pella is currently on leave. He'll be back in a few days. But when he gets back, now that we have piloted this year, it will be enhanced in 26 and hopefully standardized in 27. What this means is that when the Lego group is doing a push for F1, that recognized communities also have the tools to be doing F1 adjacent events as well. This is the ability for us to say, here's our budget. We can fund 10 F1 experiences at around the globe. We need one in the US, one in Germany, one in the Netherlands, one in Canada, one whatever. And we provide the tools for your community to enhance their event. We give you the tools so that way from now on you have the everything you need to do Ninjago Spinner Arena at your event and your future events. I think I'll pause there. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Cool. This one's
Hey,
amazing,
Jordan,
though.
just wondering.
Yes. Who is speaking?
Sorry. Oh, this is Val.
Hey, Val.
Sorry, just wondering if you're talking about like one per country, what does that look like for deciding who would be able to participate in that program?
That's a great question. So, whoever's getting bricks in the hands of kids, families, and other adults. So this would be if we're doing something. This is going to be communities that are running events that are more that are more elevated. They don't necessarily need to be A&Es, but they are unlikely to be library events. This will be an offering that is rewarding clubs that are doing something more.
So you mentioned getting bricks into the hands of kids. Are we talking about like play brick? Are we talking about using our club support as prizes for like a mock contest
Great
at an
question.
event?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
So I went to an event in February of this year. I walked into the event. There was Playbrick in 2 or 3 circles right in the beginning. This is an event hosted by Boogapoden. I'll talk about it till the day I die. It was amazing. So Playbrick in these little circles. There were kids, there were parents, there were building. There were then mocks to look at. There was then a train table where kids got to drive and crash the trains off the train tracks, and there was a member of the club that was picking up the engines and putting them back on the train tracks, and then kids are just sitting there racing trains. And then you look at more mocks, and then there was this collaborative build off to the right where there was a mountain. It was a snow mountain, and there was a lady there that was sitting at a table with all the elements it took to build a tree, and anybody could sit down with her, build a tree, and then actually go and put it on that snow mountain. Then there were more mocks to look at. Then there was an entire checkout library where you could check out a Lego set, and there were cafeteria seating where you could go and build that. And there were 100 or so people sitting there building, and then they could put it back in the little Tupperware and return it. Then there were more mocks to look at. Then there was an entire section of hands-on mocks where you could literally, there was pinball machines and claw machines and puzzles and all kinds of crazy games. Then there were more mocks to look at. Then there were 2 tractors that were enclosed in a little box that was maybe 1 meter by 1 meter, and you could drive this tractor and push the balls, the GBC balls, into a hole. And then there were more mocks to look at. What am I missing? And then there was the standard Where's Waldo on the giant thing. That is bricks in hand. People walk out of that event changed.
Yeah, that sounds incredible. Thank you for sharing.
Yep. We are really, really excited about marketing aligned support. When we are running commercials for F1, when our social media is F1, and a person walks into one of your events and sees F1, it will feel like we are integrated. That is what we want. We want this ecosystem, this full circle, that we are almost, we're aligned. With the F1 that we did this year, we were giving the communities that were selected, we were giving them social media assets that they could use. So that way their social media also reflected, was similar to our social media posts. Very, very excited for this one. Cool.
Jordan, it's Kim from Perth here. I'm
Hey,
just
Kim.
curious. How you going?
It's been a while. It's great
It
to hear your
has.
voice. Oh,
Thank you.
You played any golf lately?
No, and I'm reusing all the bricks from golf for other things. New
Good.
projects coming. This marketing aligned support sounds great, and I'm curious. Like you talk about F1, but given that it's a new thing, like from a community perspective all around the world, like how many types of things throughout the year would this kind of offering have? Like, is it like one thing throughout the whole year? Do you do different marketing campaigns every 2 months, 6 months, 8 months? Like, is this something that we would be applying for, or vying for a top spot in multiple times throughout the year? Or is this like, apply once at the start of the year and it's one campaign? Like
That's
what's
great.
I guess
Great
what's the
question.
volume kind of, what's the opportunities look like?
And that is what we need to figure out in 26. So I know of one that I'm leading, and there will be only 5 communities involved for first half 26. But I also know that I don't do the marketing stuff. That's Pella. Pella is literally going to these teams and saying, "Oh no, I'm doing 2." So there's 2 that I'm doing next year already, simply because Pella's been out, so I picked him up. But it's the ability there will be multiple ones that happen throughout the year. And for a club, maybe they do their big event in May, and it would be important for us to know that, hey, this is this big event that happens in Nebraska. I believe it's in April. And if we want to do a big US push, this is where it could be in April. But that club doesn't do any big events, May, June, July, August, September, October. So we obviously can't use them in those events, but I know they're available in November and April. So there will be these different activities that come up where we are looking which events are happening over this 2-month period. These are the ones that we're going to target. We also hope that when we give you one of these support program packages, that it doesn't die with the completion of that event, but it lives on to enrich the events that your community will create in the future. So the goal is to enrich your community long term, not just short term. And I recognize that not all communities or clubs have the ability to have a backlog, a storage unit, a church that allows you to save everything in the basement. But we would encourage clubs to if they're not, they need to find a way to create a community. They need a quartermaster. Sorry, I was a Boy Scout. They need a quartermaster and a place to store all their stuff. They need that church. They need that clubhouse. They need something where they can do that. I know there's some clubs that the city will actually pay for it because the club will give back to the city a few times a year. I know that some will use a church because they give back to the church a few times a year, or a library because they give back to the library. And this is ways that we can learn from other communities on how they give back and how they get free storage.
That sounds good. Okay, thank you.
But
will there be
not as many as we would like in 26 or in 25, but our ambition is that this will become standard by 27.
Great.
Will there be a LUG application process for these marketing aligned support, or will it be you guys tapping the LUG on the shoulder and going, hey, we want you for this event? Or will it be the 5 LUGs in that region can apply to be that person for this event?
Yeah, so right now, so I'm gonna say both. It will be, it could be application based, or it would be us tapping in. I know that the F1 was us tapping in.
Yeah.
I know that one of them that I'm doing first half year of next year, I'll be reaching out next week to these clubs. And they will be, I will probably pitch it to 2 or 3 clubs in each area and said, hey, here's what our ambition is. Is this something that you want to apply for? You 2 clubs need to figure out, I guess, compete. Who wants this opportunity? Who has the time and bandwidth to take on this opportunity?
Great. I think Nelson's got his hand up and has had it for a while. If you
Nelson,
didn't see that.
What's going on? Nope. Nelson, maybe I can't see you. Maybe you're muted. Maybe you dropped off the call. All right.
Nelson's
I'm
just
going to
put
move
a comment saying Jordan saying not him, so it's okay.
Cool. Well, Nelson, thanks for joining the call. All right. See ya. If you have a question, feel free to raise it. All right, requested support. This will take over the budget of activity support. The activity support package that you are about to receive will be the last activity support package you ever receive. So use it wisely. From a marketing angle, we will talk about this really quick. Right now, we tell our leadership team that we used X amount of a budget to ship X amount of sets, and this is used to enrich the communities. That's all we got. We can't feature you on social media. We can't feature you in Lego Magazine. We actually don't know what our support is being used for. Yes, there are reports, but there isn't, it's not mutually beneficial right now. And I would think that you would probably even agree that these support packages are not magical. They're not things you want. They're not things you need. They're things you get. Requested support is what we will be spending the rest of 2025 fleshing out. We have, we have approved some of these. We piloted it this year, where a club could say, we have events, what we need for our events to be successful, or you should be able to run successful events without us. We run events. One thing we would like to do to enhance our events is X, Y, and Z. And we go, huh. So you mean if we give you X, Y, and Z, you are going to use this at your 2025 events, 2026 events, and beyond? It is getting bricks in the hands of kids, families, and new adults, and it enriches your community. Approved. This is RLUG saying, we have a Concord. There's a Concord in our city. If we get copies of the Concord, here's what we'll do with them. And we go, well, that sounds like a pretty cool opportunity. Approved. Here's some Concord products. This is the ability. So, hello. Nope. Okay. This is the ability for someone to say, we are a Paris-based LUG, and you came out with Notre Dame and the Eiffel Tower. We are going to do, there is a huge festival that happens in June. And during this festival, people take a pilgrimage from the Eiffel Tower all the way to Notre Dame. We would like 4 copies of each set. Here's what we're going to do. And we go, approved. It is the ability for you to write a brief to us on why you should get support with a mutually beneficial purpose behind it. That is what our ambition is for requested support. Not all applications will be successful here. It is, no, one second, wait.
Yeah,
it is the ability for us to have, and we don't know everything here yet. This is still in the building process. Maybe there is a pool of funds for each region. Maybe one community is doing something that absorbs more of those funds than others. Maybe a community doesn't have a strong person that can help write a brief. These people, we can help. We can provide tools in the wiki on how to write a brief, but it will take local creativity to successfully achieve that. But no longer is it packaging up products, putting them in the mail, and sending them. I will stop.
So my concern with the change of this is your focus on events over club days / meetings / support for general meetings where we give away a set for a mock comp at a local meeting. That's one of the $10 or $20 sets that we got through LUG support, where now we have to write a brief to say we want to use that set for an event over our monthly meetings where we run a mock comp and we want to give away a set. Where previously we had a variety of different price sets that were suitable for that option.
Yep.
So are we able to write briefs to say we need sets for 12 times monthly mock competitions where we can get a $20 value set for that?
No, we would not approve that.
Right.
This does mean less support for some communities and more support for communities that are supporting our mission of inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow. This new support program offerings are to support communities that capture magic. We appreciate the fandom. We appreciate the meetings. We appreciate the people getting together. But when it comes to our budgets and our funding, that is what will get us keep our program healthy. And it is what we will be able to increase our budget in the future, because each requested support project that we approve will be mutually beneficial. It will be in line with inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow. And it will have trackable data.
So Jordan, to get the most out of these new programs, we're going to need.
I'm sorry, I can't. Oh, it's Peter.
It's Peter. Hi. To get the most out of these programs, under your guidance here, we're going to need an ambassador who has a marketing degree, a communications degree. We need probably a social media person. We need somebody to run our events. We need a quartermaster. We need a lot more to be able to take advantage of these programs and do the events. I mean, even just volunteers day up to run the tree building and the train, to build those. But at the same time, we can't request support. Under the current system, I have somebody who's stepped up to be the quartermaster. They're coordinating all the storage of the sets and getting them transported to events, or bulk brick for the play pit. Under the current system, I have the activity support. I can say, hey, thank you for all this effort that you've put in above and beyond to support the events, to make things happen. I can give them a set for that. Under this new system, it sounds like that I don't have that anymore. And you're asking more and more roles, more and more responsibilities to take advantage of these. And we're getting less for the individual. More LUG resources, great, but I don't have funds to get sets to thank people for their efforts. I don't have funds to pay people for their efforts. I don't understand how Leo can expect more and more of our LUGs and the individuals, but say, hey, you can't actually have anything. It's all for the LUG and for bricks for the kids.
Okay. I can comment on that a little bit. Yes, our goal is to enrich communities with experiences and tools for them to succeed. With our F1 Marketing Alliance support, we provided the tools for them to run the event and to be featured on social, as well as a token of appreciation to the community for supporting that. So we did, with that program, include a token of appreciation for the members that supported it. So that is possible.
After the fact, if we get accepted for each of these applications.
Correct.
Hi, Jordan.
And sorry.
Sorry. Who is it?
Fernando from El Salvador.
Hey, Fernando.
Hi, nice to talk to you again, sir. And well, my question is how often can we apply to this type of support? I mean, since it will not be like twice a year, can we request one for instance, like for Mother's Day, and the other for Father's Day, and the other one like for Halloween, something something like that, or we're gonna be having like a specific time on the year to make that request?
It's a good question. We don't know yet. So it was piloted this year. I just approved another pilot for this a few days ago. But we don't know. It could be. We will find out more in the coming months as we work on this, and more about this will be shared in the future meetings that we have. This will probably be what we talk about for the rest of 2025 in these types of meetings. It's tricky. We don't want to be flooded with applications. I have a feeling that we will probably experience some lulls and some highs, right? Probably get a lot of applications to start with. A lot of those will probably be rejected. It'll probably then drop down, and communities will then start to learn what gets approved, what doesn't get approved, and then it'll probably even back out. But we have a lot to work on regarding requested support. But more information as the year comes, as the year moves on, and I guess the good thing is that something I can tell you right now is the pilots that we're working on, the projects that I've piloted, it's not 6-month lead time before you get your stuff. It's cool. It'll be there next week. You have this project. We like it. It's online. You're doing the social media coverage of your event. You're going to use this hashtag. Approved. Here's your shipment.
All right, nice, sir.
Hey, John, Johannes here from RLUG Breaks in Germany.
Hey.
Your examples sound quite focused on RLOCs. Will this option continue to be available for online communities also, or will there be any differences?
That's a good question. I thank you for asking that, because I haven't shared it in this call. I would expect that RLUGs, and from our discussions, I would expect that RLUGs and RLOCs will be merged into one community type, and that digital offerings, support for digital offerings or digital meetings or digital, will significantly be reduced. If it's not, we remain open to seeing how it could be, how you could request support, but I'm not certain what that looks like if the overall mission of inspiring and developing the builders of tomorrow could be achieved. But it is something that we remain open to. But yeah.
Okay, thank you.
I know that is hard news for the online communities. It doesn't mean that we don't value you. We look forward to finding a way that you can receive support. We just need to figure out what that could look like.
All right.
Joel here again from CalLUG. Unfortunately, it does, like, this whole, and I understand like the business reasons, but the value of the clubs who don't want to run it like a business, we're not going to be valued. If people want to do things for fun and not have a second job in addition to our, our day job. Yeah, it's sounding like it's going to be a lot harder. And I'll be curious to see how many clubs decide, it's no longer worth the effort, because we want less stress in our lives, not more.
No, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right. It is this new program structure, this new support structure that is being looked into does take away the support that we have known for years.
So Jordan, Peter again. What's frustrating is that we've seen issues with the program. I get you don't have the numbers, you need the numbers, but instead of trying to work with what we already had and try to give us better ways to report, give us feedback on what we're reporting, you said no, that doesn't work at all. We're going to scrap it. We don't really care about these communities.
That is not what we're saying at all. That is 100% not what we're saying at all.
That's what that's what's being felt by communities.
I would say that we can speak on behalf of our own community, but I don't think we should be speaking on behalf of all communities. There are communities out there that are doing amazing things, and we want to.
And they're matching T-shirts, right?
Peter, please. We want a way to amplify and celebrate those communities. And our support offering up to this point we're not, it's interesting. What we're actually going back to is an old type of support program that we used to have on the land, where you used to apply for support. That's what we're going back to, is the application-based support, and no longer the random shipments of products that for years people have told us do not support their community. We can't pretend that activity support was the best program ever. No one liked it.
I think
we need a way to reboot
better.
that. And the great news is we now have a way of rebooting it that supports the program long term, guarantees the health and the funding of the program long term, because we can easily tie it into the rest of the business in terminology and in ways of working that the rest of the business understands.
Hi, Adam from Brick Alley here.
Adam.
Hi. It does seem, obviously, the last two speakers have sort of jumped in on one of my points that was raised. It does seem that Lego seem to have identified that they have, obviously, us as communities as a vast marketing resource, and it's now become there's some positives coming out of what we've been discussing, obviously, here, but equally it seems to have an element of, we will support you as long as you are essentially running our marketing campaigns as additional resources for the Lego company, and it's we'll compensate you via sets, or basically we're getting a load of marketing resources for free by tapping into the communities. And if you are not aligned with what we're currently doing, then you may miss out significantly. That sounds really harsh. I don't mean it to. Obviously, I don't have a communications degree, so you just get what you get from me. I hope that made sense.
It does. That makes sense. This isn't as burn down and rebuild as some people might want to pretend. This is what should have already been happening with activity support for the last number of years. And I know that we have been moving goalposts, but this isn't even a moving goalpost one. This is activity support. There have been people using it for meetings. There have been people using it for tokens of appreciation. But many communities have been using this already as event support, the way that it originally was called and the way that it originally was used. We are returning to an application-based program, just like we used to have, where you can pitch your ideas and we can support your ideas and we can mail you what you want, what you need, not leftover stuff that has never supported your community, that you have complained about for years, that you have told us, stop mailing us this stuff. We can't use it. Our goal is to give you what you want to enrich your community the way you want it to be. But you're right, it is for people. We are a marketing department. Just in case people were not aware, we are in marketing. This program is funded by a marketing budget.
This is Sean with Idaho LUG. I've got
Hey,
a
Sean.
quick suggestion. Could it be possible to go over the curated support packages, the final category, before we have all these debates about what kind of support is appropriate for what?
Yes, absolutely. Curated is a dream of ours, something that we've been talking about, but something that we need to spend time on building next year. The way that there are so many different ideations and way that we've talked about this, but imagine that as we come to the LAN and with you, we co-create maybe 2 or 3 potential boxes. You say we want a box of poly bags. Well, all right, let's have that as an option. We want a box of dots and those 16 by 16 black bricks that you use for mosaic building. Okay, that we'll have a dot box. And we want a Minecraft box. We literally want a whole box full of just 2x2s that can either be used for Minecraft building or giant mosaic building. And we go, okay, now this is this idea, right? Now we put it on the LAN and we crowdfund it. Which one of these should we spend the resources on building for 27? Or which 2 of these? I don't know. But we want the ability to maybe you want 2x4 bricks. Maybe you want, I don't know, but we want the ability for you to be able to help us see what you need to enrich your community. So this one is the loosest support program right now. We don't know if it's free of charge. We don't know if it's significantly reduced. We don't know what it is. We just know that we believe this would be a really fun and mutually beneficial way for you to actually build one of the support programs each year.
I'll be curious to see if this can actually works out. Joel again here, because we've asked for things in the past, like we need to be able to buy motors and we're not asking for stuff for free, but for great ball contraption because motors wear out or other things like that, and have been told, that's not feasible. So hopefully some like really lofty ideas can actually come out of this one.
I like it. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that.
Could this also be something along the lines of Lego develop a workshop for mills plates, trees, motion, and they provide all the parts for that workshop? Like a support package to do workshop-y type things?
Absolutely. This could be library event boxes, things you need for running events at libraries, things you need for running events at schools.
And are these packages meant to be returned to Lego after we use them for the event?
Not that I would see it. The goal is to all of our community programs are to enrich your community.
Yeah. So I know in Lego Australia we've got play boxes that we can get from Lego. So I wasn't sure if it was going to be the same thing where we have to return them after the event. So,
No,
cool.
Again, this one should probably just have a giant asterisk next to it, just because it's the one that's least
fleshed out.
Yeah. This one came up during one of our conversations with the RLUG, RLOC, A&E ideation group. So,
to be honest, I'm more excited about the last one than any of the other ones at the moment, because that's got a lot of new potential for us.
Thank you.
Sorry, Lisa here from LUG42 in New Zealand. I just wanted to ask, so just with that last one, would you say, talking about, you'd be looking at, would there be like one project that gets sort of, or one box that gets selected each year that LUGs could then apply for? Would it automatically go to LUGs? Would it be a once a year type thing, or have you got thoughts on that?
I don't. So if I had the one thing that I don't like, I can tell you what I don't like. I don't like one box being created. I like the idea of 2 or 3.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of crowdfunding. And crowdfunding at different levels. So if we go back to what Joel said, right? That might not be something that every club wants, but there's so many clubs that could still benefit from it. It is, how do we have something like, okay, polybags is an option because 95% of clubs said they want this, but here's these 3 more unique offerings. Which one of these really unique boxes should also be created? So I don't know. I don't know what it looks like, but it will be this thing will be co-created with you. And in 26, we will be, once we figure out requested support, we get that done, and we figure out marketing alliance support, and that is moving forward. That is when we can then take our efforts and spend energy on individual brick support and curated support packages, and leveling up those programs, or reviewing at least the Legbook one.
Cool, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm gonna move this slide. Survey will be shared, 1 survey per community. You can share the vision of the new program with your community leadership team. They should help fill out the survey questions. Cool. I'm gonna come back to this slide. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen per se, just so I can see everybody. Stop sharing.
Jordan, it's Greg Odlum here. Will you share this recording, and then can we share that with our people in our community, our leadership team, or is that not an intent?
Great question. I will share I've recorded it. I'm going to try and share it, right? That's the whole goal here, is to share it, unless there's some kind of tech issue, but I think I should be fine. And I will share it probably tomorrow. It's going to be a long day. And I don't want to share it now. I want to share it after the second session, and that's at 7 o'clock at night for me. So I'll probably do it after I'll do it tomorrow. I would ask you to share it with members of your leadership team. Absolutely. I would discourage you sharing it with your members. Share the messaging. share the reasoning, share the vision, get their questions. You're welcome to do that. This isn't a secret. We don't want anybody to be surprised when this program changes, when it evolves, when it levels up, when it whatever it is. We don't want surprise. It's your choice how you present this to your community.
So Jordan,
Right?
if there
You're currently taking this in, and as a leader in your community, you then get the voice on how you say this is terrible. The Lego group's doing this, XYZ. Or you can say, here's the change that's happening. How do we feel about it? It's you are powerful within your community type, and you will dictate how they come along this journey with us.
But Jordan,
is it
They
appropriate?
distance themselves.
if
Sorry.
there is any tech issues, are you able to share the PowerPoint with us?
Yes, I can do
Yeah.
that. Forgive my terrible PowerPoint skills. Say it was made by a.
Hey,
We
you
worked
didn't
with
have
the
too many
children, right?
words, so
Inspiring and
we're doing all
developing the
right.
builders of tomorrow. I had a child make this for me.
If we have any further questions that come from our leadership teams, are we able to reach out to you directly, or is there going to be a forum post in the LAN that we can add questions to and you'll answer them? Or
Thank you. Great question. I would say, please don't post anything on the LAN today. Let's make it past the second meeting. And then we can start talking. Let me figure that one out. Again, it's not a secret. We spent the last 3 years building the fan media program. Let's spend the next 3 years building the RLUG program. Sorry, the maybe digital and physical community program, the event creator program, the whatever it is program. But let's spend the next few years building this one. And it is a journey. It is on January 1st. It will not be perfect. Just like January 1st of 23, it was not perfect for fan media. But we are so much further along with fan media today. It is a completely different program for fan media today than it was in 22. And our goal is to do the same thing of leveling up this program. It is going to be change. It is going to be hard. I am thrilled to be targeting our support to these communities that have been doing magical things, just amazing things that far exceed the amount of effort and support that we've given them to this point. There are so many events and communities out there that are running A&E adjacent style events that do not get celebrated, that do not get any additional love or care. And this is the ability for us to say, if you have a dream, let's make it happen. Fernando, share it, man.
Yep, thank you again from El Salvador. And yeah, the situation is kind of interesting because now it seems like we have like start to make the programs or make the programming for the activities like 1 year before, right? Like to have the specific topics for the exhibitions like 6 months prior or 1 year prior, so we know what are going to be requesting, right, on this specific new type of supports that we are getting, right. And secondly, I think that it's a good opportunity, right, to encourage also the I mean, here all we the ambassadors and LUG members, the LUG members to search for solutions. And I can say on behalf of Latin America, I guess, or El Salvador, that it will be nice if you can also um, like trust a little bit more in us, or as you were saying, that just a few cities in the world will be having like this example you made that with the F1 event. So if you want to um, like count with us, you will be more than welcome. We can do our best always. We try to do our best between ambassadors here in Latam, and yeah, let's see how this works.
Thank you. Most of these clubs existed before support. We need to remember that your friends, your family, your members, I hope they're not here because of the free stuff. The free stuff is the cherry on top, and we want to make that cherry on top just more valuable, more purposeful.
Oh yeah, that's what I
I
mentioned.
have sadly had to offboard a lot of communities in my time. It is, and so many of them have thanked me for the offboarding. And you all know this. A lot of you know this. You've talked to them. Clubs have become unhealthy at times because they're reliant on support, because people are joining only for support, because whatever. Yep. Y'all have that issue. We can't pretend that you don't have it. There are clubs that are going to be getting less support for this. But our goal is for those communities that have a dream and a vision to help it come true. And for those clubs that want to be a brick on the map, don't want to do events, that's fine. You don't have to. You don't have to apply for support. You don't need that burden if your community doesn't want that. Will your club lose members? Maybe. I hope not. Will it, but will it gain experiences? Will it enrich your club long term? I hope so.
Hey, Jordan. It's Alan here from the VLC.
Hey, Alan.
I'm one of those guys I was one of those guys that was around when we used to have to beg for pencils and those tattoos that you got wet and stuck on your skin to hand out to kids. And that's all we ever got, if we were lucky, from the Lego group back in the day. So I appreciate that Lego has this program and is willing to put some effort into trying to make it better and more useful to both the LUGs and to the Lego user group. So I understand some of the people on here being upset about the, some of the new rules that will be put in place to get some of the support. I have often looked at sometimes when we get those boxes of sets as almost like a burden or a challenge to try and figure out how to use them, because it's not consistent. Sometimes there'll be multiples of sets that can be very useful when you're doing an event and you want to have like a speed build competition or something like that, or a creative build. You put the set in front of people and have them build it and stuff like that. But when it's a bunch of random sets and there aren't very many duplicates, you're left with, do I hand them out at meetings for people that have, done something outstanding at a meeting? It almost becomes a burden. And I know that some of you guys and then, directors or executives for your clubs have come up with ways of giving it out as rewards. It breeds an air of expectation in sometimes, and people do things expecting to get free Lego because they did this particular chore or that particular chore. I just want to remind everybody that, the reason we got into this hobby is, we all have our own reasons, but it brings us happiness, brings us joy, and the fact that Lego gives us some stuff and, expect something in return is not a bad thing. So that's all I have to say.
Well said, Alan.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. We have a big problem with people coming in with high expectations of what, joining for free things and things. That's not the sort of people we want in our club particularly. I know that that my leadership's already behind that.
Edwin.
Yes. I couldn't join the meeting till late, and I just wanted to say I think it's good to have a support system which is based on application, because back in the day, I don't know, 10 years ago, it used to be you had if you didn't do anything, you wouldn't get the support. So you would write a support application for a event, and based on the activities and how you engage the community at the event, how many numbers you expected and such like, they would create a budget for you to get some support. And then that was going for a few years, and then it changed to send some random boxes of sets that may or may not be useful. So I just wanted to say something positive. I know that's freaking people out, but I think if the system is done well, the communities that put in the effort and engage more get rewarded, and more resources to engage, and it's win-win for the Lego group and the LUG community. So I just wanted to say that. Sorry if I just butted in at the end of your meeting.
Thank you. That means a lot, Edwin.
So let's see where it goes.
We are going to, I thought this would have been a 60-minute meeting, and we're almost at 2 hours. So we will wrap this up in 5 minutes. And then if anybody wants another 2-hour meeting in about 8 hours, good news, I'm here.
Hey, Jordan. This is Joe with CLUG. I know you mentioned specifically that you really want to get bricks into the hands of kids and families. Is this something that you guys view as being exclusively recycled Lego, where we are constantly using the same Lego over and over again, or do you use this? Do you see this using some of this maybe as stuff where people could come to events and maybe kids get something to take home with them, or do you distinguish?
That's a good question. That's a good question, and that's why I'm a big fan of the polybag box. I really hope that we can curate a polybag box for communities that are running events. Mm-hmm. Simply because you can. Here's a little token. Thank you for coming. Again, I guess it's about enriching. I went to I don't remember who ran the event, but it was in Connecticut, and it was Hinkle and I went. It must have been 14, maybe 15. Sorry, Kevin Hinkle, he used to work here. And he and I went to this event, and it was the old school AFOL-led event of you can look and you need to leave. And there were the stanchions. There was zero engagement, and I've never felt more unwanted at an event in my life. Versus these events I go to now that are just, it's almost like every teacher in the world just joined an AFOL club. And they're just so much fun to go to now. There's the nerdy ones of us that don't engage, but all these clubs have these people that are just facilitators almost, or event organizers. They're magical. What you do is beautiful. So I think that the bricks in hand events are starting to become the norm, and there don't need the thing that Bugaplan did in February will forever be the highlight of my AFOL career. But I think that there are other ways of doing it to a lesser degree, where you're still making sure that people walk out and had a memorable experience. If you think about something like a Comic-Con, there's going to be 100,000 people that go to that Comic-Con, and not a single person is going to know that the AFOL community was there.
Mm-hmm.
Versus that 4,000 person event over a long weekend. That was truly something beautiful. Now, we hope the Comic-Con things still happen, but I don't really see the support going to those, because at the end of the day, there's that missing piece. There wasn't that experience. There wasn't that hands-on engagement. So maybe some recycling. I don't know. Maybe there will be that. You already, I'm guessing, are whenever some local toy store goes out of business, you're already acquiring all that with your LUG revenue or LUG budget or whatever you have, or your community's leaning in and getting that. So there are ways that you're already doing this. All right, I'll stop talking. We have 2 minutes left. Daniel, go for it.
Yeah, good morning. Well, we have used in the past, there was from Lego the Minecraft boxes and this we used since 8 years or something, and we still use them. So, and we also had from the good old days this 2x4 bricks, what Edwin said at the beginning. We had the event support system where we could take what we wanted. And this we are still using it. Yes, you have some bricks who are missing over the time, and some are not that new anymore, but you can recycle it every year, and we use it at 3 events per year. So this is something where I'm looking forward that we can have that we can change the parts to newer ones so that they can still click like they are new, but you can recycle it. And yes, you need storage, but I see many positive ways in the new program, because it is kind of the good old days, as I would say. So thanks, John.
Thank you. Thank you. Edwin.
Sorry. It's just on the Comic-Con, because I've over the years, the Comic-Con people have been coming to our event, and finally we collaborated with them at the end of last year, and we joined Tokyo Comic-Con, which had 80,000 visitors. Of course, 80,000 people did not come to our booth, but we ran a booth with 20 of our members, and we had play areas and activities for people to engage at, because the event said there's not enough engagement for people at the event. It's a lot of looking, buying, and selling. So we ended up giving away 8,000 flyers for my A&E event at the event, and 2,000 magazines, and we had people playing at the event the whole weekend. Of course, you can't claim that as a standalone event, but depending on how you run what you do at Comic-Con and present yourself, it is possible to actually use Comic-Con to make an impact. So I agree with what you said, if someone just has a booth and a table at an event, but we made our presence quite known last year, and we are going to we joined Osaka this year. Oh, sorry, first of all, we did a table like you said, then in Osaka we had what I just said, and we're going to Tokyo again this year, and we're going to go in full force and have play tables and mosaic art and activities for everyone. So it can be done. It can be done, yeah. But I understand what you're saying. I just wanted to add that. So yeah, no question in there.
No, that's beautiful. And Super Manila just happened in the Philippines, and the same thing. Pinoy LUG leaned in and supported that one. You're right. There are ways of Comic-Con experience is happening.
It
So.
just depends how you do it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
But Peter, I see your hands open. We are going to go ahead and end this now. I apologize. You're welcome to reach out to me if you have any additional questions right now, Peter. But other than that, I appreciate everybody joining today. There will be another session in just a number of hours. And thank you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Jordan.
Appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Jordan.
you.
Thank you.
Thank
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jordan.
Thanks.
You're welcome.